everyone. Today, lesson 1 for Scratch is looking at creating a maze style simulation where you are going to get a cat, or it could be any other sprite, to move around a maze that you create and to try and capture another sprite, be it a chick in my case, and to get some reaction between the chick and the cat. It's dead simple, straightforward, and very progressive as well. You can go on to do other things with this little piece of work. So do have a look, tell me what you think, and I hope this helped. Okay, bye. Right, lesson 1. We're going to do some activities today which will encourage you to get on Scratch and start creating. So the first thing I'm going to do is this platform here, this area here, this panel is for your sprite. This panel over here is for the background. The two work separately, but you can send messages from one to another. So first thing I'm going to do is concentrate on my background. So as you can see, I'm going to click again. This takes me straight into a already fulfilled library of resources, but I don't want to use that. So I'm going to go up to the paint section here and I'm going to create my own backdrop. I always tend to try and encourage children to use dark colours for the background, so I'm just going to play about, use the flood fill. Now, because it's not filling up, I'm going to convert to a bitmap just to fill the screen with black. Then I'm going to go up and choose a colour, so remember to use these bars to bring them along to find the different colours. The more you move them around, the lighter you get there. So again, use quite a bright colour. I think I'll use pink. I'm going to use a thicker line as well, just test it out. And I want to create a maze, so if children want to do this on a piece of paper beforehand so they get an idea, they can do, but it's easy to change if you need to. So I'm going to create a section there going up. So obviously my sprite's going to have to go along here. I might select something in here just to make it a bit more challenging. If I go quiet, it's just because I'm concentrating on creating the lines. So the wider, the more distance between the actual lines, the easier it is to get around. But you want to try and put some challenges in there so that they don't knock into things, and give enough space to think that you've got a sprite moving around this area here, for example. So I'm quite happy. This could be your level 1. I'm just going to get rid of this one. So you can see at the top here there's that little cross. I'm just going to get rid of that one because I don't want that one. So this is going to be my backdrop. If I wanted to rename the backdrop, I can do if I want to. I'm just going to leave it like that for the moment. So now I've done my backdrop, I'm going to jump back onto my sprite. Again, I can look through here. You can create your own. I think I'm going to go for I think I'll go for the cat. So I don't want this sprite here, so I'm just going to click on and I'm going to get rid of it. You can do this on iPad. So if you go onto the Scratch 3 website, you can do this on the iPad. It's better on a computer and children using their mouse skills, but obviously you can code this on an iPad as well. So first of all, I know that the cat at the moment is too big. So that's the first thing I would ask, is that cat going to manage to get around that maze without banging into the walls or being a giant on the maze? The answer is no. So first thing I'm going to do is use a control brick. And at the beginning of the game, I want him to look different. So always check the names of these, really important. I'm going to say change size by, I can use that one, or I could use this one. Change size by means that every time I click this, it's going to get bigger. That's not the one I want. I want to set the size. I want to set the size to, try it out, 50%. Am I happy that he's going to get around here? Is he going to be able to turn? I might change that a little bit later on. I might change that down to 40. So get rid of this code that I don't want. Then I'm going to start thinking about how I get this character to move. So my blocks would be motion. If a character is moving horizontally back and forth, left to right, you're going to be using something called the X, where is it? change the x-axis. If a character is moving to the right, we want to add 10 on. You can change that number if you wanted to. If I want the character to go left, it's the opposite. So what's the opposite to add? Take away. So we've got our 2 blocks here. Now, I want to have some control over this. When I press an arrow, I want him to move. When I press left, I want him to move left. So I'm going to go back over to my control, so my events button, and I'm going to use this one here. When the space bar is touched, when right is pressed, when left is pressed, should I say, I want him to go left. When right is pressed, I want him to go right. So test it out. Now at the minute he's going forwards and backwards. So you can see that working. The larger the number, the larger the value, the bigger steps that this cat is going to start to take. So now what I want to do is have some control over where it's looking, okay? Right, so my next step is to start looking at getting this cat to move up and down. So x-axis is going to get our cat to move left and right. We've established that and that's working. I'm happy with the speed that he's moving. But what I want to do is try and get him to go up and turn. So this is where you need to start thinking. Sometimes if I'm working with children, I would actually give them some code on here to have a go at. But because this is online, I'm going to show you through. So if we want our cat to move up and down, we are going to start using what we call the y-axis. Okay, so when we go onto motion over here, go down, change y by, we want just one for the moment, change y by 10 is positive, so it's going to go up the screen. Now I'm just going to show you the problem. The debugging problem that we've got here is the fact that the cat is not looking the right way. So what we want to do is use this button here, point in the direction of. So when he is looking up, if I click on here, we want him to look up. Okay, when the cat was going up, we want him to look up and we want him to move up. So now you can see he's moving up. What we can do, and I'm just going to show you this, you can go back in and get all of this code here again and drag it down. If you want to be a bit quicker, you can go over to the code, right click, duplicate it, bring it down, and then you can say, well, I want the opposite then. If the cat is moving down, I also need it to take away 10 because it's moving in the opposite way. So let's practice now. When the cat is moving up, the cat is moving down, the cat is moving up, the cat is moving down. Now, this is where children will hopefully start to think, oh, when they press the left and right, the cat again is looking the wrong direction. So again, we can go across, point in the direction. If he is going left, I want him to look left. If he is going right, I want him to be looking right. So we've got the code here. Let's just pop it all here so we can put it in a line so I'm a bit organized like that. I tend to break code down like this for children when they first start. You can make it, minimize it, maximize it, it's up to you. Because children need to see all the individual parts, then they can start tidying it up a bit and putting it into loops and conditional statements and things like that. But I wouldn't worry about that up to now. You just want the children to be able to get this to move. So the idea is that this cat has to try and get around the maze. I want to make it a little bit more challenging, that if at the beginning of the game the cat starts in a certain place, so really I'd like the cat to start down here, so I'm going to set that at the very beginning. I'm going to take my sprite down to where I want him to start, and I'm going to use this go to. Now watch these numbers here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see them there. I'm going to position the cat in a different place. The numbers change. It changes the position on the screen where the cat is. The X and the Y value change. So if you ever want your sprite to start in a certain place, put the sprite there, go across, go to, and pull the brick in. I'm just going to get rid of that one. So if I put my cat anywhere on the screen and I press click, it starts there. Okay, so at the beginning of my game I can have my sprite at the beginning. You might want to put things on there for the sprite to go and collect. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find something I think the sprite might want now. So just quickly show you my code. We've got him moving and we've got a starting point. Okay, move that up there. If you ever want to take a brick off, go from the bottom or go from the brick that you want to take off. If a brick is in the center, for example, I'm just going to put that one there. If a brick is in the center, you're going to have to take that brick off, move that brick in and delete that one. So just get used to how you use the blocks here. So the next thing I'm going to do is just going to go and get something in the library. I don't know what it is. I'm going to go down and have a look. What can I get? What would a cat eat? Let me go down. Or it might go for, let's have a look. I'm just going to go and see if there's something, a chick there. Now, what I'm going to do, as you can see at the bottom here, I want the cat to go and get the chick. This is a bit of an evil, it sounds like a bit of an evil plan, but I'm going to put a chick over here and I'm going to click, there's the cat's code, here's the chick's code, so I'm going to click on the chick. I'm going to say to the chick, all I want the chick to do is to stay there. I don't want it to move. But what I'm going to do is go over from the beginning of the game. I want, again, the chick to look a little bit smaller. Set size, I think I'll go for 60% just to make it a bit smaller. There we are. I'm just going to check the chick as well. Here, this is the code. Here's the costumes. I could see before that this chick actually moves. So what I'm going to do is just have the chick animated a little bit. So I'm going to go over to my looks. I'm going to go and say, I could use switch costume here, but I'm going to use next costume. And I'm going to use a control button, which is in a forever loop. Because what I want to happen is I want the chick to be changing costumes, and I can see that there are 3 costumes. The chick's going to change to make it look like it's moving. To do that, I'm going to click that on there, but to make it work, I need a little space between, a little wait time gap between each of the chicks moving. So I'm just going to put in 0.5, half a second. I'm going to just click it and see what happens. So you can see him moving now. So here's my cat. I want the cat to move. Quick. Up you go. Right, there he is. What do I want to happen when the cat gets to the chick?